think I cut off. I think I cut off my live by accident. I pressed something and the thing just went off. This live gets on my nerves. It don't want to do right. It don't want to do right. I'm sorry, y'all. I was right in the middle of a thought. Right in the middle of a thought too. So yeah, it inferiority complex is is a social construct meant to. Yeah, I don't know. I think I cut it off by accident. I don't know what I did. Black Pearl. I apologize, y'all. So yeah, the inferiority complex thing is it's not natural. It's something you are taught. It's something that you are taught and told to feel, and you are told it. You are parroted the narrative over and over again until you believe that it's true, that you are inferior, that you are nothing, that you don't deserve what it is that you deserve. And the issue with us as ugly women is that everybody's in on it. You know, the funky part is that if you go back and you retrospect your life and who has been in it, who has tried to make you feel badly about yourself, more times than not, it's almost everyone. Lest if you had a good mother and father, but even your siblings, like it's like everybody's in on this big joke against you. And that's the part that confuses us, I think, is that it's one thing if the world out there, certain types of people say, "Oh, you're nothing." But when there's no refuge, when you go home and you have to hear it from a spouse, or you have to hear it from your brother or your sister or an auntie, when you hear it from a teacher and a friend or a lover, you sit back and you say to yourself, well, damn, it must be true, because not only are they saying it out there, but everybody I love is saying it too. I think that's the part that gets us. Everybody we love seems to agree with this lie or participate in this lie that we deserve nothing, that we deserve to be mistreated and abused. It's okay to slap us around because, who are we? Who are we? It's like everybody's in on that big ha-ha, that big joke. But it is an illusion. It is an illusion. And we're trying, what we're doing here, what you're doing here by listening to me is breaking the spell of illusions. Because all anything is that isn't true, that you believe in, is a spell. Anything you believe in that is not true is a spell. That's why you can't shake it. That's why you can't shake it. That's why it's hard for you, like, intellectually, man, this is the most idiotic thing to think or to feel. But you can't shake it. And every decision you make is predicated upon this belief that you don't even believe. That is a spell. The spell of vanity. The spell of vanity. All of our problems, I don't care what it is, all of our problems, if you go back, if you retreat back, it's centered, the core of it has to do with vanity. The core of it. That is the only way a woman is controlled. That's the only way a woman is controlled. That's the only way you would screw a man who doesn't love you. It's vanity. That's the only way you would allow anybody to abuse you. It's because of vanity. I want you to validate me. I want you to make my life worth living, or tell me the meaning of my life. Tell me what my life means. By having your approval, my life now has meaning. It has purpose. I'm not an accident. I'm not some kind of freak of nature accident from God. Now I could claim validity to this air that I'm breathing now because you're paying attention to me. We don't think it's as simple as that, but it is. It is. Because it affects you on your job. It affects you even spiritually, some of you. Spiritually, emotionally, financially, mentally, all of it. All of it. If you go to church now, you have to look a certain way in order to go, or you won't even go. You won't even go get your spiritual food from God without the outfit being right, for fear of the congregation judging you. You wouldn't wear the same outfit twice because God forbid somebody remember you wore that last week, and you're going there for spiritual food, not to really be seen, but it's still an issue. It dictates what time you go, what service time you go to, who you go with, right? Even your spirituality is predicated upon your vanity. Even that. So it rules us. The planet is vibrating on a sex force. Our whole planet is vibrating on that. And you find that the average person that you talk to isn't excited about anything outside of sex. You can check it. Even social media. I've done that experiment plenty of times. If I talk about something spiritual, you know, yeah, Selk is nice, yada yada yada. If I talk about sex, my timeline would literally, I would break the internet. Niggas come out the woodwork. I'm like, I didn't even know you was my friend. Who are you now? Like, what rock did you crawl out of? Because I said vagina and penis, here they come. That's all that excites most people. That's the drive. This is the sex force that we're vibrating on. And we can't do anything about that. There's nothing really we could do about the vibration of the planet. We just want to be aware. So that we're not, once you become aware, what's the purpose of becoming aware of things? You become aware so you know the rule. The awareness is knowing the rules of the game and not being a victim or a pawn for the game. You're now a player. A lot of us are not players in the game. We're pawns in the game. People are moving our heads around like chess pieces because we don't understand the rules. So knowledge affords you the opportunity to move some stuff around yourself. You're able to move other pawns on the chessboard yourself instead of being a pawn, which is what a lot of us are. And you want to know why a lot of us are pawns on the chessboard and in the game of life? Because we prefer to be lied to. What is propaganda other than a fancy ass 5-syllable word for lying? What is marketing? Lying. What is seduction? Lying. All of it. All of it. So fancy dancy. We dress it up. We dress it up. And we make tears out of it. So a hooker on the street ain't shit. But if she has hand sanitizer and a business license, we call her a sex surrogate, and she's a professional. Still trading sex for money, but now she has a license and she's in an office space. Same shit, but marketed differently to create an illusion that one is better than the other. Do you understand what they do with us too? Create an illusion to make you and your girlfriends and your little stuck-up conceited chicks that think they hot, Y'all thinking one is better than the other, and we're all slaves. We're all slaves and pawns in this thing. But an illusion was sold to us that that girl over there is better than that girl over there. And to support the illusion, that girl over there is giving more opportunities than that girl over there. That girl over there has more TV time. And TV is a magician's tool. Media is the magician's tool. That is the greatest propaganda tool. It's not a book, y'all. It's a movie. It's your favorite movie that has attractive stars that you respect and appreciate. All they have to do is tell you this is what you're supposed to feel, and you believe it. It's as simple as that. Media is magic. So we create this dissension between the two, and if this type of girl is given all the accolades, all the opportunities, all now all the men want her because men are being told to want her, and you're standing over here on the sidelines, and they're saying, well, you ain't shit, because they're not giving you anything. They're not giving you any airtime. They're not giving you any opportunities to show your talent. You're just as talented as she is, but they're ignoring you purposely to create the pyramid, to create the capstone, the top of the pyramid, and the people at the bottom. Because the people at the bottom, they're going to make money off of you trying to climb to the top, when really there is no top, because it's something they've created. It's nothing you can reach to. It's a decision that puts people at the top. It's a council of decision makers who decides who gets what, who's going to make money, who's going to be a star, and all of these things. What color we're going to wear this year. All of these things are prefabricated, pre-made, predetermined. And we're thinking everything is just a natural evolution. There is nothing natural about anything in our society. Not the food we eat, not what we watch on TV, not politics, not nothing. Not nothing. And I told y'all already, the way the world is going, once they get the kinks out of these fake wombs, they're going to be giving men wombs to have babies. And this whole thing called gender that we enjoy now, that we differentiate between male and female, that's going to be over with. They're trying to smash that as we speak. That's going to be over with. That's going to be an afterthought. What they're saying now is gender is a social construct. Me having a vagina is just a social construct. It doesn't really have anything to do with biology. That's what they're selling the young people on. You and I are what is it? Too old to matter. But my daughter, who's 13, if you tell her that, by the time she's 21, what is she going to think about gender? Because they're teaching them things about gender in schools now. A social construct. And that's exactly what it will be when men are able to have babies. That's exactly what it will be when men are able to have babies. And all of this stuff is coming. All of this stuff is coming. You want to be ahead of the pack? You want to rise above all this fluffery foolery that's going on now? All this low self-esteem that you feel, all this intimidation that you feel? The first step is an understanding that you're standing in an illusion. The first step of that is understanding that the reason why you feel the way you feel is because it's been manufactured to you. It is not a fact that you feel the way you feel. It's not an accident that you feel the way you feel. It's deliberate campaigning from the time you were born, from the time you had understanding that you were separate from your mother. It's relentless indoctrination from the moment you had intelligence that told you you are less and this is more. This girl is better. This girl is worse. Upper, whatever, lower, whatever. That's all it is. So the feeling that you feel about yourself isn't true But it feels that way because because you've felt it all your life. It feels true because you felt it all your life, and that's by design. You want anybody to feel a certain way, you got to get them before they turn 7 years old, because after 7, that's it. That's it. A full consciousness of a person is formed. Your personality is fixed. By the time you're 7 years old, you're gonna feel and think whatever it is you're gonna think for the rest of your life by that time. Before that, you're a sponge. Before that, you are a sponge. So understanding how you got to where you are is how you break the spell. Because then it becomes a not so helpless. Because you feel like it's helpless, because you know why? You know why you feel it's helpless? Because you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know how these things started. You don't know how the feelings that you had about yourself even start. Where did it come from? It seems like everybody feels this way about me. So, it must be true. But everybody's a victim of the social hive that we live in. We victimize each other, in life. This is what we do. So the more you know, who's that? Thank you, Dance, for your donation. So the more you know about how all of this stuff works, the more what we're doing is demystifying this thing. We're taking the mystery and the magic out of this thing. It's like we're pulling back the curtain and we're looking at what the wizard is doing. You know what you are? You're like Dorothy, believing that someone else can save you. And then when she finally meets the Wiz and realizes he's just behind a curtain pushing buttons and pretending to be this great god, and that he really had no power to begin with, that is where we're all reaching. All of us are Dorothy, the story of Dorothy. You start off timid, you're odd in some way, people don't respect you. It's like you're a woman child. Sort of like a woman child. Like how Dorothy in The Wiz, I'm talking about The Wiz now. Not the Wizard of Oz, but The Wiz, where she started off, as a teacher, awkward. She had no friends. She was just like a grown-up kid because she was intimidated by everything. She didn't realize how powerful she was. She didn't appreciate herself until she went through the trials. And her trials were in helping other people realize their greatness. And I tell all of you, this is a journey for all of us. This really isn't just about you. You're not overcoming just for yourself. You're overcoming so you can pull up the next girl behind you. So you can grab someone's arm and run with them. You ain't running by yourself here. You ain't running, you're not overcoming this just to sit down and go, yeah. That's not how we're wired. But at the end of the yellow brick road, you're running for the Wiz to save your life, and you realize he ain't never had the power to begin with. And that the power was within you all the time. Is that not the story? That's what the story is. So that's what we're coming to the conclusion of. We're trying to get to the point where we understand that the Wiz, the wizard, the people in charge, the person in charge, whatever you want to call it, the gag is there is no power. The power is in your belief that there is a power. That's their power. Their power is your belief that they have it, not that they have it. There is none. There is none. So when you're struggling with, self-identification and wanting to know where you fit in and wanting these friends and wanting all this acceptance and all this kind of stuff, you got to understand the things that you want. You gotta sit back and reevaluate. You gotta reevaluate all of your desires. Where is this stuff coming from? Do I really want this, or was I told that I want this? Do I really, really want, would this make me happy, or what, or do I want this because I was told by someone or people that this thing would make me happy? You have to start getting to know yourself. And it's through the process of sort of like deductive reasoning, as I've said before, where you figure out what you're not, and what is left is what you are. What is left is probably what you are. When you figure out what you are not, that's the process of deductive reasoning. And we got to get intimate with ourselves. We have to become acutely self-aware. A lot of us want things, we don't know why. We feel things about ourselves, we don't know why. We don't know where it's coming from. We just feel it. We just feel it. You want to master your domain? You want to become a master instead of pawn in this life? You got to know everything. You want to know everything. And that means you have to face the truth. You can't be a person a woman like the typical woman out here who prefers to be lied to. I'm telling you, most women, most if not all women, prefer to be lied to. We love a con. We love make-believe. We pay a lot of money for those shenanigans, for make-believe. And I'm not saying it doesn't have its place and that it's not entertaining. It is. But not to a fault. We don't want to be entertained to a fault. We want to know what is so that we can become the actors in this thing. That's what we're hoping for. There's a price to pay, though. There's a price to pay. When you know it all, it's like, ugh. Ugh, the world is so dirty. Ugh. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. No disagreeing. It's simply that you're out of place with your assumptions. What's going on here? Uh-oh, what's happening here? Y'all having a fight going on in here. All I do is self-exfoliate to make me feel better. All right. Black men don't want to uplift themselves. They want to assimilate. Oh. Black women are on the bottom of the totem pole because their counterparts are on the bottom. Should black men uplift themselves and make it their goal to uplift black women and not ditch her? This wouldn't be the case. Okay, well, I guess we can argue those points until the cows come home, or till the chickens come home to roost. Black men's positions on the bottom are the reason why we're on the bottom and the reason why we are mistreated and so forth and so on. That's an argument, right? But then there is the flip side of that, which is that we live extremely pretentious lives in general as black women too. We have an excuse and a scapegoat for everything that we do, and we don't own up to our behaviors either. So everything we point the finger at black men for, there's two pointing back at us as well. There's that. So I would advise all of you to not look at your lives, not evaluate your lives in terms of black women or black men. Your life is just your life. Truth be told. Your life is just you. It's just you here. It's just you breathing. It's you walking, you talking, you eating today. No one else can do that for you. And we can't wait until, I don't know, the light bulb turns on and, every black man or woman acts right. You don't have time to sit and contemplate those things. And a lot of times when we get into the plural conversations, it's really to deflect from our own personal responsibilities to ourselves and the little realities that we can control. Because there's things and aspects in your life that you can control right now that you don't give any attention to. that you do not give any energy to. And you're here judging what, other people are deciding to do or not deciding to do. And you can't even, you can't stop smoking, let's say, for instance. Like, why are we going all the way to the left when you can't even control what you put in your mouth? Why should we entertain conversations like this when the basic day-to-day stuff, your basic right or wrong, you don't have a handle of that. You're still struggling with doing the right thing for yourself. You're struggling with doing the right thing for yourself, and we're having a conversation about what other people are doing. It's a mute point at the end of the day. Because if everyone did the right thing, then it would reflect on us collectively. But anytime you shine the light on somebody, they instantly go to we's and us and they's and them's and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, it's just you. This journey is just yours. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. The journey is just yours. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to master you? Because that's the only thing you can absolutely control is you. That's it. That's it. It seems everything is a black man's fault. It's what we do. It's what we do to shine the light off of us. We transfer blame. And you as a black woman cannot afford to blame anybody for anything. It doesn't change anything. And like I said, it usually makes people just defensive. It makes black men defensive. You blame them, they get defensive, they look for justification for what they do. Isn't this what people do? If you confront somebody and convict them of, emotional crimes or whatever it is, are they not going to push back and defend their actions? That's all we get out of criticizing and putting people, against the wall. That's all you get. You get people trying to justify their actions because why? Because nobody wants to look like a fool out here. Nobody wants to be misconstrued as a fool. So I'm going to give you reasons why my actions are justified. And this is all that we get when we do stuff like that. Forget about all of that. Forget about what black men and what black women and all that stuff. If you hate yourself, it's you that you have to deal with. If you got pretentiousness going on that has to be correct or audited, that's all you have to deal with. Not hers, yours. If his morality is shit, so be it. But what about yours? What about yours? It all goes back to you. It all goes back to you. We can sit there. A lot of time is wasted talking about what we and what they and what them should do. I told y'all ladies, listen, y'all on my channel, if you're following my directives, you know there is no revolution coming. And I told you that before. Why did I say that? For the simple fact that you can't even get a man to pick up your grocery bags and bring it to your trunk if he sees you struggling with it. You can barely get someone to hold the door open for you when you're coming in and out of a building. Where's the revolution going to come from if you can't get a grocery bag, assistance with a grocery bag? Something as menial and simple as that. There's no instinct within men to say, let me help her. Now I'm talking about instinct now. There's no instinct to help you. So we got to get that out of our minds. The reality is that a lot of y'all are screwing men right now. If there was apocalypse, some kind of apocalyptic event to drop on us right now, where food was scarce and we were in danger, a lot of y'all would be killed by the men that you fuck would kill you. Oh my God. You don't hear me. Because everything is about pleasure to you. You value what's pleasurable. But if you needed him to come through and defend you, or to go out there and hunt for food, you would starve to death. You would starve to death. The men that you fuck right now. So we have to do better in how we're choosing overall. But it has to come from within you. It has to come from within you. You're not going to change nobody by blaming them. You are not going to change anybody by blaming them for anything. We don't have time to blame nobody. All I want to do is understand you. I'm not trying to convert you. I want to understand what you are. And you'll understand what I am, but based on what you can and cannot get away with. You're going to have a really good understanding of me. Because all relationships is behavior modification. You're getting someone to do what they don't want to do. That's what a relationship is, you know. Behavioral modification. How can I incentivize you to do something that you don't really want to do? How can I make you think it's in your best interest to do for me what you're really not compelled to do? Ugly girls understand that we're negotiating like that all day, every day. That's what love is. That's what love is. This is the reality. Blame who? I don't blame black men for anything. I say all the time, although they think I hate men, I don't know, you know, it is what it is. I think they think I hate men because I don't get pretty enough to, I don't know, to want their attention. I don't look like I'm trying hard enough to get their attention, so they equate that to me hating men. And it's whatever. It's whatever. But we need real men. We need real men. We sure do. We sure do. And how do we make real men? By being real women. The yin and yang. Why do we need? We wouldn't need a heaven if there were a hell. I'll put it to you like that. We wouldn't need heaven. We wouldn't need a heaven. Or should I say, heaven exists because hell exists. I'll put it like that. Heaven, like I said, heaven exists because hell exists. There is an above because there is a below. There's a black because there's a white. There's a good because there's a bad. There wouldn't be anything called good if there wasn't any bad. We can't escape these things. It's the poles, the opposite poles, the hate and love and all the contrasts that go on. We can't escape that. All of these things are a part of life. We have good and bad within us, like I said in the last live. Some of y'all insist on being good and you leave the bad to rot when the bad of you is your defender. The bad side of you is your soldier, your personal soldier. The bad side of you is the devil that sees another devil. How can you see a devil if you're not bad too? How can you know a devil when you see one if you don't tap into the devil within you? And I'm not saying be a devil. I'm saying respect the devil in you. Understand that there's one in you, and you ask that devil to come put a lens on your eyes so you can see what's going on. Because I said, what was it, last year that I said this thing called virtue. Virtue is not being incapable of doing good. Being truly virtuous is being capable of doing bad, yet you don't do it. That's true virtue. That is true virtue. We got this whole thing twisted up, though. We got this whole thing twisted up. And we got to untwist this thing. We have to become intelligent women here. This is what the Ugly Girls Club is about. It's about using our intelligence to understand our environment, to understand ourselves, so that we can make real conscientious decisions and not decisions based on this position of victimhood. A lot of y'all just make decisions because you feel you're just a victim. You're not coming from a place of empowerment. You're coming from a place of self-pity. And you'll never get the respect that you want, that you think you deserve, coming from a place of pity and frustration and doing things that are not in line with you emotionally, physically, biologically, and so forth. We always mad about something that we can't control. When you look around, you look outside to your peers outside of this arena and the things that they're up in arms about, the things that they're mad about, things that they cannot control. And yet the things that they can, no energy. No energy for it. So we're fooling ourselves. We're fooling ourselves. You don't have the discipline to really judge nobody else. Truth of the matter is that none of you, none of us, we don't live a disciplinary life on the level that we should, that we can actually be a judge of anybody else. We don't. We do not. You can't even stop eating sugar, and you want to say what somebody should or shouldn't do out here? We're not in that position. You are here to understand yourself and everybody else so that you know how to maneuver. That's it. That's it. You are here to embrace the truth, not to condemn yourself, but just the truth is where the power is. The truth is where the power is. You ever examine the villains, like in you can say TV shows or movies or what have you, and it's always, you know, you have the villain against the hero. And if you examine the mentality of the villain, the villain is always telling the truth. The villain is the one telling the truth. The hero might be idealistic, struggling with, you know, their self-esteem issues and stuff. That's usually the hero. The hero's struggling with who they are, who they want to be, who they wish they didn't have to be, and all of that. But the villain or the devil comes in and accepts things as they are. The devil is the one that tell you, well, you know, you saying you don't like this, but you're just like me, right? Isn't that what the evil component of any of these movies or these on-screen things characters do? The villain always comes with seeing things as they are and utilizing its energy towards manipulating people's secret desires, your secret vices. The devil don't give you vices. It uncovers your vices, uncovers it, and uses it against you. This is what life is. This is what life is. Right is wrong and wrong is right. Could say that. Right is wrong and wrong is right. Everything is upside down. Everything is upside down. Yes, the villain is open. The villain is open. The villain is non-conflicted. The villain is not embarrassed about who he or she is. The villain is completely and utterly, totally self-aware. Whereas the hero, the good person, is still struggling with what it is they have to do, what they're expected to do, and, you know, whatever else. It's always a struggle with the good person, but with the villain, no. Nope. So there's that. There's that. We just want to understand. We just want to understand. You are not going to convert anybody by shaming them, by exposing them. You got to give people, you want to convert people, you got to give them what they want. That's how you convert somebody, by giving them what they want. Because by giving them what they want, it seems like you don't have an agenda, which you do, but it appears that you don't have any skin in the game when you're giving people what they want. So these are things that we have to learn. We have to learn how to talk right, how to say what they want to hear instead of being victims of people saying what they think we want to hear. We now have to wear that hat. We now have to put on that mask. We have to put on the mask and tell people what they want to hear instead of our entire lives being victimized by the puppet masters. You have to wear it. You have to wear it. Yeah. Lucifer has dominion over this earth. The demons act out their desires in your flesh. You bring the demons into your home, your soul, your spirit. So focus on being and becoming spiritually strong. What does spiritually strong mean? Tell me, what does spiritually strong mean? That's your jihad. Is that right? Is that right? So this is really just food, more food for thought. Y'all probably have to replay this live again. I would suggest you do. I would suggest that you do. You know, and you step out of the way and let other people fight. Just let everybody duke it out, and you just sit back. Just sit back and watch. Watch people pretend like they care. There's a lot of pretending like people care about certain things that they don't really care about. It's just good conversation. Didn't I tell y'all that before? A lot of this spirited talk and the ranting and the raving and all that kind of stuff, it's not that people care. It's good conversation. It's like entertainment. It's a distraction from their own lives. It's just another way to deflect. That's all this stuff is mostly. You said, sorry, I care, Black Pearl. All right, well, Black Pearl cares. We need the priests that do care. We need the spiritual warriors that will come and, because we need a spiritual arm of this thing. So we need people who are sensitive to energies, who do care enough, that will step up. So, absolutely. I don't know why I'm getting my notifications late. How long has this live been on? My timer says 43 minutes. I don't know. YouTube is YouTube. I'm sorry about that. It's just a resistance of temptation. Are you saying that's what spirituality is? A resistance of temptation? A resistance of temptation. I don't know if I believe that. I don't get the correlation, but if that's what you feel. Yes, the online here, Twitter, Instagram, all that is totally different from real life. They act the total opposite outside of that world. Yes, they do. I'm telling you, I've seen people, quote unquote, celebrities, and people in the limelight, and when you see them in person, it's like they have an on-off switch. I'm telling you, it's so weird and wonky to see. It's like, are y'all all acting? So this is just an act. When you see these people in real life, then you realize it's an act. They have an on-off switch, like literally. They turn on and off for the camera. It's amazing to see. But they're never like how you see them on the big screen, or even at the seminars or wherever you go, people that you like, whomever it is. It's always different. It's always different. So, it's food for thought. Sugar, you must have balls to know what a man is or should be. Go get those meds. Now, why are we turning this into a name calling thing? we don't have to take it all the way there emotionally. We don't have to do that. Come on, y'all. We don't have to do that. This is self realization. That's what this thing is about. So to bring it back on home and to end it off, those of us who are trying to be sexy, I think it's better for a lot of us to try to be sensual, and sensuality requires understanding. It requires you to get out of your ego and into the presence of all the sensations, into the other person's head. You want to seduce somebody, you have to get into their head. And a lot of women who are sexy are in their own heads. They're sexy, and that is attractive in itself. But you find that a lot of times their sexiness, it doesn't last. It has no duration. It's like, what do I equate it to? Something that fizzles out and gets cold really fast. You know, whereas sensuality is a slow boil. It's like a slow build, and your whole presence, your whole body, all your energy is involved in it, and it just incrementally builds and grows, and it's just a longer, more pleasurable experience to be sensual as opposed to trying to be sexy. Sexy, there's a fixed archetype for that. There's a fixed narrative for that. There's a look for that a lot of us just can't. We're just not that. We're just not that, and it's okay. It's okay. But there's so much more that we can be if we're not afraid to become it. If we're just not afraid of measuring up. Forget the measure. If you're not status quo, then there is no measure. There's nothing for you to measure up to. If you are not the status quo, there is nothing for you to measure yourself against. They're saying you're not a part of this league. That's what they're saying. This is what society is saying. But you still have to exist. You still have to find your happiness. You're still entitled to all of these things that they feel other people are entitled to. So then it becomes a battle of energy. It becomes a battle of wit and intelligence and tremendous understanding. Tremendous understanding. Because the people that tried to enslave you emotionally and mentally they're living in prisons themselves. It's not that they're free. It's not that they're free. It's that they're really a lot of times intimidated. They're really, really intimidated. They're afraid to be found out. They're scared. They're scared. As I said before, the magic is making you believe that they have power. It's not that they have power. It's your belief that they do. And you have to stop believing that people have power over you. They do not. They have an opinion. They have a feeling. They have an inclination. All of that. Like everybody else. But they don't have any power over you. They have no power unless you agree to it. You have to agree. Just like I tell all these men that talk about what we're worth. You hit a wall. Nobody's going to do X, Y, Z for you. You're not worth this and worth that. And I say, well, you can have that conclusion. But if you're coming to me asking me with your hand out, asking me for attention, asking me for my body, asking me for my time, then I have the last say. And what this actually is and what this exchange is going to be. You can say what you're going to give, and I can say yes or no. I can still say yes or no. So the power is always yours. You can't let anybody's opinion be power over you. It's an opinion. It's an opinion, and it might be an opinion that quite a few people share, but so then it becomes an opinion of quite a few. It's not a fact until you go, you know what, guys, y'all right. The moment you concede is the moment it becomes a fact. If the moment you concede is the moment of feeling becomes a fact. And that's that's what I'm trying to get y'all to get. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to get. I'm trying to get y'all to stop being afraid of opinions, of criticism. You will not escape that until you're dead, and even in death, they'll have something to say. Ask Michael Jackson. Even in death, they will say, you should have been. Why didn't you? If. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to rebuild yourself. You have to undo and rebuild your thinking. Some of us, yeah, well, it depends. Some of us do have to rebuild ourselves, depending on the damage. Depending on the damage, because a lot of times with thinking dictates action, and action dictates results, and results could be adverse to your life. So a lot of this is a physical build. It is. Oh, very much so. You are so smart. You should have your own TV show. I appreciate that. You have to learn to love your uniqueness. I wouldn't even say you have to learn to love it. You have to just accept it. You don't have to love it. You just have to accept it. Accept you. I say it all the time. I'm flawed. I'm a little crazy. You know, a little bit. But I've decided that my touch of lunacy has helped me see things a different way. I understand that me being crazy is really me thinking outside of the box, and I like that. Before I didn't always like that. I didn't want to not think like everybody else. I wanted to be just like everybody else, because thinking for myself also meant being alone. It also meant traveling alone. That's when the aloneness hit, because it's like once you start thinking for yourself, people will not understand you anymore. A lot of people will go, well, what's up with you? You know, so there's that part. There's that part that we got to be ready for, and a lot of us don't. We would prefer to be amongst the crowd, even if it's pseudo love, even if it's fake love. We rather the fake love than no love at all. You know, we'd rather that. So there is that. Apparently, you real expert of this. You truly have an attractive aura. Like I said, it's never about looks. It's about aura. Thank you. It's energies. Is it? And that's what I'm really honing in for y'all to get. It's really about that. At the end of the day, it's really about energy. It's all about that. You want to be attractive, change your energy. Change your energy. Please, suckers, teach this in schools. Oh my goodness. You disarm all your opponents by owning your uniqueness. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. All of that. And you all have the power to do this. You all have the power to turn this around today. It is just a decision. You don't have to wait. It's not a journey. Listen, y'all don't talk that journey shit. Get that vocabulary out of your head. This journey, and I'm on a journey, and the journey, and you know, I've been on this journey for how long? You been on the journey? I've been journeying for 10 years now. I'm just on this journey. Well, where are you going? I don't know, but I'm on the path, and I'm walking, and I'm just on this journey. I don't have a clear destination. You don't want to be one of those ones. Ugly girls have to have a destination. You have to have an end point. You have to have an end game. You have to have a purpose for every fucking thing you do. You don't do that free spirit shit. That's for pretty girls to do. That's not your lane. Everything you do needs to have a purpose and a period on the shit. You need to quantify the beginning, and when you reach to the finish line, you need to know what the finish line looks like. You're not doing no journey to nowhere. Only losers talk like that. Anybody who establishes anything, who gets anything in this life, has a clear destination. You will never hear nobody who has money talking about, I'm just on no journey. Nobody who's successful, who you look up to, is talking this, I'm just on a journey talk. Nobody. Nobody. This is not how you're supposed to approach life, ugly girl. Leave that to these other people. This ain't you. That ain't your lane. Everything you do has to have a purpose, because why? Because everybody who comes to you has their purpose in their hand. They have a reason why they're in your fucking face. Everybody. When you are an ugly person, they are there for a specific reason. Nobody just comes to you just because. You ain't got the face of no just because nothing. They want something from you. They want something from you. So your job is to know what it is, what you're willing to do for them to get it. What are you getting in exchange? We don't do no right timing and all that nonsense. Don't talk that kind of talk. This is how people hold up your whole fucking life. With that, well, maybe, and it's possible, and you never know, and down the line, and we'll table that, and all of this innuendo. You don't let nobody talk no innuendo to you. You gotta be, see, like, okay, what you gonna do, when you gonna do it, how you gonna do it. Okay, this is gonna happen. That you gotta have all of that in your head. You gotta have all of that in your head. All of it. Sorry, that's just the ball that life has given us. That's just the ball that life has given women like us. We can't afford lackadaisical about nothing. About nothing. Because nobody's lackadaisical about us. Nobody's gonna give to you just because. Nobody's giving you anything just because. Nobody. Nobody. No one. So this is how you gotta be. Well, I can't see my comments. Oh, my comments. Okay. We need a goal. They have a goal. We need to have one too. You better. You better. You better turn on your reptilian brain, my ugly girls. They try to beat it out of you. They beat your warrior right out of you. You knuckle dragging now. You're the simp. Talk about men are the simp. It's a black woman. It's the ugly black woman is the simp. They beat it. They beat all the comeback out of you. But you gotta revive yourself. You gotta resurrect that part of you. You gotta it ain't no yes ma'am, no ma'am. You're not yes ma'am and no ma'am and nobody. No more. Those days are over. Those days are over. If you give, it's for a reason. If you don't, it's for a reason. If you need someone to think they conning you, it's for a reason. Everything you do is for a reason. Everything. Be assertive and say no. You don't even have to say no. I would say my thing is starting to shut off on me. But really, in communication, the less you say, actually, the more powerful you are. And some of y'all talk too much. You got, if you say no, you got to have your whole speech of reasons why you're saying no. And you don't even have to do that. A no could be well, I don't really have an answer for you right now. That's a no. Being vague is a no. I tell you that for people who talk circles around you. If they don't give you a definitive answer, it's a no. And you can do the same thing for them. If they want to know if you're going to do something, you go, well, as it stands right now, I can't give you an answer. As it stands right now, I'm not feeling it. But who knows? Maybe next week. It's still a no. It's still a no. You got to talk less. You got to learn to talk less. You want to be powerful? Talk less. Explain yourself less. If at all. If at all. I'm the queen of ignoring people. Oh my God. It's so much fun. It is so much fun. I don't do explanations. You just don't exist. And it's so much more better for me. It's so much more satisfying for me to know that you're wondering if you'll ever talk to me again, rather than me saying, never talk to me again. I'd rather you torture yourself wondering. I'd rather that, because you never know. I may need you later on. So I don't want to give you a definitive no. I'm not giving you no solid answers about nothing. This is what they expect from you, ugly girl. They expect you to be honest, because honesty is the only virtue you have when you're ugly. There's a power in silence. Use it. There's a power in silence. Use it. This is all a part of being charming. This is all a part of the dark goddess school. I have a whole dark goddess system separate from everything else that I teach that really goes into how to be an effective, should I say bitch? Depends on who you're talking to. Maybe that's what it is. But it's a whole training behind that. It's a whole training, self-mastery that goes into that. And all of you need to know how to be it. Especially those of us who are social misfits. You got to learn how to be it. And don't think that this ain't for everybody. This ain't for every dumb woman out here. This ain't for every dumb woman out here. Ain't nothing for everybody. There is nothing that's ever for anybody. And this is no exception to it. There are people that were born food for the gods and will remain food for the gods until they pass away. That's their lot in life. That's just it. They're not here to do anything. They're not here to be anything. They're not here to change the world in any way. It's what. So, stop. A lot of y'all want to take a step, but you don't want to take a step unless all your girlfriends do. Get the fuck out of here with that. Get out of here with that shit. You don't want to make no move unless your girlfriend wants to do it too. Are you kidding me? This is why so-called good people suffer. Because we don't want to do anything unless somebody says we can, unless our friends want to do it too, unless our mothers say it's all right, unless our boyfriends say we good enough for it. It's like everybody else. We need approval from everybody else to make a move. That's why you fail. That's why you will continue to fail in life. You gotta get some independence about you. Some emotional independence. Some emotional intelligence and some emotional independence. That's what we need. That's what we need. How did you learn this stuff, Selkis? Did you learn this in psychology or something? I study psychology. I told y'all before, maybe y'all don't know. At one time I wanted to be a psychologist. But the schooling, me in school I just couldn't do it. But I have always dreamt of being a psychologist. That was one of my wishes, and I had started school when I was a salon owner, I actually went back to school, started courses towards that, and then my father passed away, and I was like, "What? The life isn't worth living. Fuck it." And I just dropped out of school after he passed away because I was just emotionally just done, done at that point. And I never went back. But the want, to help women on an emotional level, to counsel them, to coach them, and all that stuff has always been there. That part of it never left. It never left. And I don't know. It's just something in me. So my drive to create some emotional freeness for myself is what helped me seek out information that also eventually started helping other people. So, that's a little bit of my story there. You know, took a few pivots, and I've gone through reinventing myself several times in my life. And I can't say that I always knew what what if I'd be able to do what it is I wanted to do. But one thing that I always made it a point of was not being afraid to try. I've never been afraid to try. Never. Maybe afraid to fail, but never afraid to try. I always, whatever it is I wanted to do, I always gave it a try. So there's that. Seems like your father was your balance. Oh yeah. I was a daddy's girl. And he's still with me, on a spiritual level. I talk to him in the spirit realm all of the time. So he's like a deity to me. Those people who worship, Orisha and Obatala and Yemiya and all that kind of stuff, people that they don't fucking know. I'm worshiping who actually loved me, which was my dad, my grandmother, relatives that held me, loved me, fed me, took care of me. Those are the ones that I call on. I don't call on nobody else. I don't call on nobody I don't know. That's just me. I don't call on nobody I don't know. I don't do that. So there's that. There's that. Okay, I figure you have more than life experience. You don't think like the norm. You come from a higher place. Well, I've gone through a lot of a lot of different things. A lot of initiations, like spiritually and literal initiations. Literal. So I know a little bit. I know a little bit. The learning never ends. As long as you're alive, you're learning. And to me, you're learning, and your wisdom accelerates when you have understanding. When you step out of your ego and have understanding for things instead of trying to control everything. Once I stopped trying to control what people thought of me, I developed an understanding of them, and that's when the power started. It was like, oh, okay, I don't have to go, like I'm climbing uphill. I'm no longer climbing uphill. I don't have to climb anywhere, to gain the favor of people, because I understand the limits of that. I understand what was holding me back. I understand where my vanity played a part in things. You know, I had to get clear about what it was that I hated about myself. What was it that I loathed? Because at one time I wished that I was light skinned. I told y'all before, I had bleached my skin when I was a teenager and stuff. I went through that phase where I just did not want to be what I was. That was a dark place. And a lot of women, they walk through that throughout their entire lives. Throughout their entire lives. Prison. And I always wanted to be free of all that. Always wanted to be free of all that. And that's something we can be when we have understanding. You know? Teach some of these women the importance of great men. I think some of these women have daddy issues. I want to respond to that, but I have to. I'll wait. That'll come around again. That'll come around again. So, cause you need to be my, you want to be my mod? Okay. Ain't no kumbaya, holding hands, BS. But in this world, it's every man and every woman for themselves. Run towards your purpose. What's up with the comments calling others out there because who else got issues? I don't know. Men usually uh like to be like to give directives. Especially when you express any vulnerability. This is something that I also talk to y'all about in training. If you work with me privately, we go into all of this. Any time you express any vulnerabilities, expect people to want to now tell you what to do. That's usually how it goes. And men usually do that. Men usually do that well. Anytime you show any kind of weakness, here they come with supposed solutions and what you should do and what you shouldn't do and all of that. So just, you expect it. And you can go, yeah, you're right. And, in your mind, you have worked out in your head what it really is anyway. Sometimes you got to tell people what they want to hear. And unfortunately, you got to tell a lot of men what they want to hear. Because they usually they don't honor the truth. They don't honor the truth. They don't cover you. When you tell them and you show them your wounds, they don't cover you. They don't protect you. They exploit you. This is what people do. They exploit you and they pull on you emotionally. They pull you down even more. That's what happens. That's what happens. So don't expect anything else from that. This is why I say when you reveal things, reveal what you've already worked out in your head. You don't reveal, especially to men, things that you're still working out. That is a major mistake. You don't tell them nothing that's still confusing you. The only thing you reveal to them are things that you have already worked out in your head that, listen, this is green, this is red, and this is yellow, and it is what it is. If you go ahead spilling your guts and you're fragile, puppet master, you become a marionette. That's what happens there. That's what happens there. I took someone's advice to ignore him, and then when no one was responding to him, he got silent looking for a way to get into the convo, so he used Selka's experience with her father to get back in. There you go, Miss Monet. Look at my girls. You see, I got soldiers here. Y'all sharp. Y'all sharp, sharp. Now you see. Now you see. It happens all the time. Like clock, you can set your clock to it. You can set your clock to it. Yes. Yes. I love you, Monet. That was key. That was precise. Precise. This is what they do. That's what they do, though. And y'all will know, and you will open your eyes. See, Monet just had understanding. She just displayed superior understanding for human nature. We can't change him. We can't change no man. All we have to do is understand what it is, so we don't become victims, emotional victims when they try to poke and jab and probe and all of that they do. That's all. That's all. You got to say to yourself, okay, what game we playing today? Oh, we start another game. When they start, you gotta go in your head, oh, another game's coming. Another game is coming. I wonder what he's gonna say now. So you divorce yourself. You detach yourself from the experience, and you're kind of like the observer of you and him. You gotta sit looking at you and him, watching y'all go back and forth, like you on TV. That's how you gotta do it. You gotta take yourself out of it. Don't emotionally invest in anything that's not going to yield you, that's not for you, that's not yielding you anything, that's not positive towards a goal or directive or whatever it is. Take yourself out of it. Take it out. Take it out. You gotta scroll up. Read it. Scroll up and read what she said. She caught that swift. Real nice, because it's subtle. Y'all looking for, in your face, jab, 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 and it's not like that. They come underneath. They come sideways. They come over and around. They never like in your face. No, they come from the back door. That's how manipulation works. You looking for something in your face, and it don't come like that. It comes with, I'm trying to help you. The best manipulators are always telling you that they're trying to help you. They're trying to help you see things the right way. That passive aggressive stuff. It's light work. That's light work. If y'all study with me and let me guide you, anything else you learn out there, I'm not saying that I'm the only one. I have the absolute of anything. I could never say that. But this is a seasoning on that naked chicken. I'm putting the adobo on that chicken. That allspice on that chicken. Okay? That Lowry season. That Lowry seasoned salt on there. That's what I got for you. Gaslighting, yeah, all of that. But whatever feels like an insult is exactly what that is. If you're not sure if it's a compliment or an insult, then you've just been insulted. Period. You don't have to think about anything else. That's what it is. Don't spend too much time on it. Work by your instincts. That's right. They want you to change your perception of your reality. Once I get you to doubt, that's it. I could put another nail in your coffin. I could jab you a little more, turn the knife in you a little bit more, especially in wounds you already have. Oh, please. That's what they do. So it is what it is. What will is, will is. What will is. So that's all I have for y'all today. I appreciate y'all for coming out. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Go to all the links in the description box. My art site. I'm an artist, an author, a poet, relationship expert, spiritual advisor, medicine woman. I'm the quintessential Renaissance woman. I do it all. So hit all the links up. Join the Ugly Girls Club. I'm working on some other things. I got to get this merch on the way because y'all need the t-shirts. Y'all need some shirts out here because I want to hear the stories when y'all rock these shirts. It's going to be hilarious. I appreciate you too. Oh, you just got on, Angela? Yeah, you missed it. I didn't talk for an hour and 20 minutes. And the other live too, because this is me jumping back on after I cut my own self off. So you got 2 lives you got to watch. All right, y'all, so I'm out. Salima, hit me up. You know why? You know what we got to do. I just came across your videos and was totally captivated by it. As I continue to learn, I realize this live video for girls, me, unfortunately, for I'm a man and I'm still here. Oh, well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming. I appreciate your sentiments and supporting the channel and finding value in it. And, pass it along to your girls or your whoever in your life who's a woman who may need it. I appreciate you. Thank you, Miss Monet. Thank you, everybody. Everybody. I gotta go. I will probably be on here tomorrow. So hit the bell, the notification bell, so y'all don't miss it. All right. Peace and love. Bye.